Welcome to episode number 5 of Blevins Nation Podcast. We have a great show tonight with special guest Jake Plummer. We're talking football and his new product, ReadyList Pro. I also want to acknowledge our sponsor, FuelTheJourney.org. Stop by and start a new you. All football, all rock, all the time. Life, it's what happens. Sit down, hold tight, and open your ears. The show starts right now. This is Coach B, your host with Blevins Nation Podcast, and today we're talking with Jake Plummer, quarterback, Sun Devil, Cardinal, Bronco, entrepreneur, I guess you could say, husband, father, you know. So how's it going?
Things are good, man. I appreciate you reaching out and having me on the show.
Oh yeah, love to, love it. So you told me you were calling from the car. So where you headed?
I'm heading down. You said in the intro there, an entrepreneur. So I never thought I would be, but I have been tasked with helping a friend of mine kind of spread the word on a digital playbook that he created, similar to the Rosetta Stone for foreign languages. So he came up with this concept through his travels, trying to stick to on some teams. He played on 9 teams in 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that was hard for him to get those playbooks, try to digest that in a short amount of time. So he came up with this concept to not only study the playbook and use multiple learning styles in the study of the playbook and the plays and progressions and all that, but then he has a testing protocol that comes right off of it called there's a ReadyList Pro, and it's a testing teaching tool for playbooks. And so I'm heading to Orlando for the USA Football Convention to get in front of some coaches and whoever else I might know or see as we're down there. I'm the network guy. I know a lot of people. I know a lot of coaches and former players that are coaching. So he gave me this chance to help him build this company, and I guess therefore that makes me an entrepreneur.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that. Well, anything to help out. I mean, was this guy, was he a former quarterback?
Yeah, Chad Freehoff is his name, and he played at the Colorado School of Mines, a Division II school in Golden, Colorado.
Okay.
And in 2005, they won the national championship, and he was the RMAC Player of the Year. So he basically won the Heisman for Division II. So he had a ton of talent. And in 2005, the Broncos brought him in as a camp arm, so to speak, in the preseason. And so I befriended him and tried to help him out and helped him try to, learn as fast as he could for his one opportunity he might get. And after that, we parted ways, and he came back to me about 4 years ago with a PowerPoint concept on how to teach the playbook faster. Like, there's got to be a better way to learn besides pen to paper, and then having all those different modalities like video and, trying to piece them all together. So he lumped it all into one single space where you can watch film, you can see the signals, you can hear the play called. So you're testing, you're learning in multiple styles, whether audio, visually, and then even tactile, where you're moving guys around. Because we've learned that when you use your tactile learning, your retention rates go up tremendously. So that's where we're at, man. We're trying to build that knowledge gap and bridge that gap for these young players so they know what they're doing, and hopefully that makes them a little less prone to injury. And your wins go up and your mistakes go down, and everybody has fun out there.
Yeah, that's I've been looking, on the website and checking it out. So this seems like a really cool deal. And especially being a quarterback, I mean, having to learn, would you say 9 different, being on 9 different teams, 9 schemes. I mean, you got to know the most of anybody. So, I mean, that's really difficult.
Yeah, he went to School of Mines too, so he's an engineer and a very smart kid, knows how to study. Even he struggled with learning these playbooks. So that's kind of what got him thinking there's got to be a better way. If I'm struggling and I graduated from the School of Mines, then all these guys, everyone else has to be struggling. So that's kind of what prompted his that part of that concept of how to study better, and then we built it into a workflow model used by the Louisville Cardinals, University of Arizona Wildcats, and numerous high schools in about 6 different states. So we've grown pretty fast in 1 year, but there's nothing stopping us now, man. We're going to continue on and see how we can grow this thing and give it to coaches as a tool to help them, not to hinder them at all. It's just to help them teach the game, get these kids up to speed so they can strategize more and not spend less time telling guys where to line up and going through walkthroughs and covering stuff that the kids should know. That's what our hope is to up that knowledge level and then again let coaches have that little bit of accountability and that's the greatest thing. Everything these kids do on the testing portion gets sent to the coaches. So right away where they stand as you install day 1, day 2, day 3, you can move along according to how your players are progressing.
Oh yeah, and you don't have to install during camp. I mean, well, you do, but I mean, you can still give them this stuff before camp, and I mean, it's it's there already. That's awesome. That would make things a lot better.
For sure. The tough thing for me was when I would hear a coach in a meeting room tell me all this stuff about a play and break it down to the very root of the play and what we were trying to accomplish. And if I didn't take this notes, like perfect notes, then I might miss something. And then I'd go home and I'd try to remember, and if I couldn't remember it, that was lost. So this is a way to videotape the coaches installing the plays, embed that video in each play in the video, in the playbook portion of the Ready List Pro. So when these kids leave, like you said, in the off season, they could spend time listening to their coaches talk about the play. So when they come into camp, it's ready to roll, man, ready to go.
Yeah. Is this a software you download? Is it you just go to the website and sign up, kind of like Huddle or DV Sport?
It's a subscription as a service. So you pay a yearly fee to have access to 100 accounts, which right now we're just offering offense in the Ready List Pro. So you can have 100 accounts, which would be plenty for most high schools and corner and middle school teams. Even college, you have enough to cover the offense and then possibly, the red shirts that need to learn the stuff or even install the opponent's offense so that your scout team can study the offense while you're out playing. And then that next week, the scout team players can come out on the field and play faster during practice. Because we all know limited reps these days, limited time on the field. How do you get these guys to function more efficiently? And I think we have the tool. We really believe we got a tool that can help these players function, not only the starters and the key guys, but even your scout team guys. So subscription as a service, you pay a yearly fee, and mainly, you install your playbook, and then you have full access to the playbook portion and the unique niche that we really focus on is that testing portion where you can go over the test, take it numerous times till you get 100% or you feel comfortable, going to bed with a 95% or whatever you want to shoot for. But it's a way to ease that stress to going to bed, knowing what you got the next day, what to plan for. And, I'm not taking any credit for this thing, Chris. I'm just the guy that thought, wow, what a cool thing. I wish I'd have had this when I was playing. I'm helping my friend here spread the word. It's all Chad's doings. He's the genius behind this. It's his brainchild, and we're just continuing to get it in front of as many people as we can. And the great thing about it is it's good for all the way down to, like I said, middle school, high school, college, and pros. They all can use this software to up their retention rates and learn their offense. And we have a youth app coming out soon this spring that we're going to be putting into some youth markets, the 7-on-7 leagues, flag league. That's going to help coaches.
That's cool.
Help coaches, have playbook and have a practice scripts and all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah, I think the younger they are and get this kind of stuff would make things so much better for them in the long run.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I had a podcast for a while. It's a challenge and it's fun, and yeah.
Oh yeah. Are you still doing it? Or you
I took some time off from it. I was doing it for a while, It was fun, but then I had a third child, and I'm first and foremost, the most important thing to me is being as good a dad as I can be.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really what I focus a lot of my energy on is making sure that I take care of myself, of course, but my kiddos and my wife, and be a good dad, good husband. The podcast was fun, but it was just a little bit too much to take on while I was helping, Chad build the Ready List Pro.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, and you can check that out at readylistpro.com. Is that right?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. And I was planning on telling everybody to go check out your podcast, but they can still check out the ones that you had and at Snake Steaks
sure.
with Jake Plummer on iTunes, and you can always check Jake out on our following at Twitter, Snake Steaks. So yeah, and let's see here. You went to school at Arizona State University. Did you graduate? Or did you leave early, but you still went back and graduated? How'd that work?
I hate answering that question because I didn't graduate, and I feel like a fool I spent 4 years. I came in right away. I didn't register, and I played, so that took away a little bit of my time to try to get that degree. And then when I got done, I got fully fledged right into playing ball and starting for the Cardinals, and that's when I probably should have gone back. But it's always there, online now and everything. I could find a way to get that degree. Eventually I will. But I had a great time at ASU, a few tough years, but that last year in '96, we almost won a national title, and that was why I went there.
Yeah.
And we came close, but it was a hell of a good time down there.
Yeah. So that's cool. You were drafted by the home team, the Arizona Cardinals. 6 years, 6 years with them. And were you a free agent when you signed with the Broncos, or were you traded, or how'd that work?
Yes. Yeah, my second year, we made the playoffs in '98. And it was the first time in 15 years the Cardinals had made the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And then we beat Dallas in the playoffs, and that was the first playoff victory in 50 years. So I got
I saw that game.
My contract in for, huh?
I said, I saw that game. Anytime anybody beats Dallas, I'm with it.
Dallas, oh yeah. Well, we beat them, and I had restructured my contract that year for a 4-year deal. And when that 4-year deal was up, the Cardinals had no interest, I guess, in re-signing me, and I became a free agent. So that was a great process. I took a trip out to the Chicago Bears, the Denver Broncos, and really made my decision to come to Denver because Coach Shanahan and Kubiak and the ability to run an offense that I felt was tailored to my skill set, and gave me a great opportunity to win a lot of ball games, maybe get to a Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, and just the prestige of the Broncos. I mean, that's that's
oh yeah,
that's kind of good too. I mean, of course the Bears, but I mean the Broncos. Hey, they've been there way more times. But
yeah, and the trip to Chicago, it was about 20 degrees and sleet, hail blowing sideways. And when I came out here to Denver, it was sunshine and sunny in March. I said, what the heck? This is nice. So that wasn't the main reason, but it definitely played a part in it.
Oh yeah, definitely. So you were there 4 years at Denver.
Yep.
And then you retired, and that's 10 years in the league. Was that enough?
Oh yeah. I look back on it, and I'm sure I could have played 3, 4, 5, 6 more years, and I could end up probably being a backup for another 3 or 4. But at that stage, I didn't really want to go through all that time to not be the guy. And then not only that, but my body was starting to kind of break down, and I was taking a lot of anti-inflammatories just to get through a season. I felt like in 2005 when we lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers, I really thought we had a Super Bowl caliber, champion caliber team there. And when we didn't win that, it was a bummer to me because I had dreams of winning the Super Bowl and retiring right after that, because my only reason for really playing football was to get a Super Bowl since I was a child. It was a childhood dream.
Oh, yeah.
So if that would have happened, I felt like, why would I put my body and my mind and everything through all that abuse to try to get another one? You know, I felt like getting one would be just enough and I could retire and ride off into the sunset. So ended up playing that 10th year, and it didn't go as well as I thought towards the tail end, but I was ready. I was done. My heart was starting to think of other things to do in my life, and like I said, my body was really getting beat up. I wasn't built for the game of football, so to me it was time to move on, and I'd met the woman of my dreams, who's now my wife, and we were falling in love, and I felt like there was so much more in life that I needed to experience rather than playing football. So that was a lot that went into my decision.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. That's cool. Quarterback. What's the high school? When did you start quarterback?
I started playing QB pretty much as soon as I started playing football. I begged my mom the summer leading up to my 5th grade year. My best friend was playing Optimus football in Boise is what we called it. And he was begging me to come out and play because all I did at recess was play tackle football or tackle 500 or whatever out on the grass. And I was pretty fast and quick and tough to catch, so my friends wanted me to come out and play. And when I went out, I started out as a receiver, but my best friend who convinced me to play, he was the quarterback, and he was okay. But when he would overthrow me, I'd get the ball and I'd rip it back to the coach on the run right to him. And so the coach thought, hey, let me see here. And so he started taking me off on the side to see if I could throw the ball. Sure enough, I was pretty accurate, could throw the ball real well. And he said, you're going to be our new quarterback. And much to the demise of my best friend, but you know, as time went on, he was my receiver in junior high. He was my receiver in high school, and he didn't hold a grudge because we started winning ball games, so he was all right with that. So was everybody else.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then it was QB from then on, QB all the way through. I played some DB in junior high. I didn't play defense in high school because coach didn't want me to get hurt.
Yeah.
But I played QB all the way through, man.
That's awesome. That's good. Let's see here. Who do you got in the Super Bowl? The Patriots.
I wish it was Jacksonville, Minnesota, because I'd have a lot more fun picking the teams. Because I'm getting a little tired of no one being able to beat the Patriots. I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles for a couple reasons here.
Okay.
I really like Doug Peterson, Mike DiFilippo. They're great coaches. Okay. I really like them, and I think I love teams that overcome adversity. When you lose your starter and a kid can come in and still carry that torch and lead the team, I think that's a testament to that team as a whole and the coaching that's going on there. And then the other reason is two more reasons, because my first action ever in a live game was in Philadelphia in the old Veterans Stadium, and they have the greatest football fans of any fans I've ever played in front of. The Philadelphia fans were the nastiest, but also the most appreciative of someone that came out to compete and fight their ass off. So I had a lot of respect from the fans there and pulled off some big upsets down in Philly. And then the third reason is because if you've ever gone to Philadelphia, you know one place you got to go is Pat's to get two cheesesteaks with the cheese. So I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles because I think it's time to have a new Super Bowl champ from the NFC.
I like that. But what about the lobster roll at in Boston? No, I'm kidding. All right.
Yeah. Boston baked beans. Yeah, all right.
Exactly. Another good question here for you. What do you see with Arizona State hiring Herman Edwards?
You know, I really like it. I'm not sure I like them even having to hire a new coach. I think Todd Graham had done a whole lot for that university, helped them raise the money to refurbish the old Sun Devil Stadium. And, you know, he had a tough year 2 years ago, which was when he probably should have been fired. But he really actually coached really well this year and had a lot of overcame a lot of adversity with I believe the writing on the wall. He coached his ass off and got those guys in a competitive position. Went to a bowl game. So I felt like it was tough to see him go. And the fact that they're paying him to leave, again, I'm not sure where college football is going when they're doling out $80 million plus to pay these coaches not to coach at these institutions of higher learning.
Yeah.
It seems to me like those ADs need to go back to school and understand that's not good for your budget.
No.
So it's a strange deal, but all that being said, I love Herm Edwards. He's got a ton of energy. He's a great coach. He's going to bring in a great staff that he's going to allow to do their job, and he's going to oversee it all. And he's going to be one hell of a recruiter in California, where you have to win if you want to compete for the Arizona State Sun Devils. You've got to win the recruiting battles down there in Cali against USC, UCLA, now, and all these big programs. So I'm excited for it. Change, brings excitement. But I'm hoping he stays there a long time. I don't like to see so many coaches come and go in this environment that we've created in college, where there's always a better job somewhere, so they're taking off to go seek better riches and preaching commitment and loyalty to these kids, to their colors. But then as soon as a bigger paycheck or a better opportunity comes, these coaches just take off as quick as they can. And I think there's just something's going to bust here. I don't think it's good for that game.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, I did like the fact that Frost stayed with UCF for their bowl game, but I mean, so many coaches just haul ass, and then the thing is, you can't even coach in the bowl game that they're in. The team you went to.
Yeah.
So it's kind of I think it's kind of stupid, but some
Chris, what's funny about that is you got a coach like Scott Frost at UCF, and they overachieved, obviously. I mean, they were a hell of a team.
Mm-hmm.
They had a great group of guys. He recruited those players, and now he's going to Nebraska where he hasn't recruited one single player, and people are going to expect him to do what he did at UCF right now. And if he doesn't, he's going to be gone in 3 years. And now you got to kick out Scott Frost, who's a legend in Nebraska, who won a national title, I think 2 national titles.
Mm-hmm.
And here's this kid who's a legend, can walk on water. Now, if he doesn't do well, now you got to take him and spit him out. But it really comes down to the players, and that's where the focus in the collegiate level, they haven't put enough on the focus for these players, especially the ones that get injured and they don't go to the pros. Those guys need some kind of coverage health-wise for graduating and for sticking to it and getting their degree. They should get some kind of health care to help them, because they're getting done when they're in their early 20s, and those bumps and bruises start showing their ugly face till 10, 15 years down the road. So I hope college does something for the players, because those players are who made Scott Frost the coach he is. Even though he's a great coach, those players did what he coached them to do and put that team in a position for him to now jump to a bigger.
Exactly. You still there? You cutting out on me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. All right.
You going okay?
Yeah. We're good. That. Oh, that's okay. We're good. Okay. Yeah. I mean, man, I could, I don't get it. It's kind of crazy. But, this podcast, I wanted to start it because, two of my biggest, or should I say my 2 first loves, were music and football. And just wanted to throw something out there. Well, and life, of course, too, is what this is about. But what kind of music did you listen to get hyped up for a game in high school, in college?
Yeah, man. You know what? The AC/DC Back in Black was out around that time. So we were the Capital Eagles of Boise, Idaho. We wore a lot of black, and our defense had black helmets, and the offense had gold helmets. So Back in Black and that whole album, that was our song. Then we also listened to some heavy metal, depending on who was in charge of the DJ booth. So we put on a little bit of that, maybe a little Cypress Hill, anything to get us going.
Yeah.
Good times. And then as I progressed through my career, I didn't, as a quarterback in college and especially in the pros, I didn't need to get hyped. I just needed to be mellow and have an even keel, kind of a nice, cool thought process. So I would move on to, in the pros, I listened to a lot of more chill music, a little Bob Marley and, a little bit of mellow Ben Harper, something to kind of just get my mind out of stuff, just thinking about just chilling out and going out and performing,
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's cool. Yeah. Get back on this Ready List Pro real quick before you have to go.
Yeah.
and it's radiolistpro.com. So what is, hold on just a second. Dadgummit, I'm having technical difficulties.
That's okay, man. You're doing more than I did, man. When I did my podcast, I always had someone else recording it. I always didn't want to fool with that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm, you know, like I said, music was one of my first loves, and I've actually got a couple of CDs out and stuff. So, you know, I know a little bit about the recording side and everything. So,
Oh, man, I love music.
Oh yeah, definitely. But you know, I finally quit and went back to coaching football. Started out in music, went to football, coaching, went back to music, then I went back to football. So, you know.
Cool.
Anyway.
There's similarities there, you know, the thrill of preparing and going out and performing and then doing it again. And then, you know, is they can play music a lot longer than you can play football. So it's little not as hard on the body, I should say.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, man, if you're ever in Cincinnati area, hit me up because I definitely would love to meet up with you, and I want to get a football or a helmet or something and get you, you know, get your autograph because I love collecting stuff. You know.
Cool.
Always
That'd be
been
sweet, man.
always been a huge fan. And did well.
Thank you.
I'm not in college because you know, being from the South, I was made to be an SEC guy, but you know, whatever. But definitely, I love the way you play. I mean, man, you were a gunslinger. You were I didn't take shit off anybody, and that you know, I love that. I love that mentality, and you got to be that way to play this game. You know.
Yeah, thank you, man. You know, I think some of what you said was my greatest attributes, and sometimes, at certain times, my biggest, could get me in a lot of trouble. One of my biggest downfalls was that kind of attitude where there was no play I couldn't make out there, and that's just how I approached the game. And I survived for a long time, and, you know, I don't know if I'd have survived that long in this environment where if a kid gets a shot, he better shine right away, where it took me some time, you know, at Arizona State to mature, learn the game at another level, and get those opportunities over and over again to build on what I could do. And you know, that environment has changed. You know, it's you got to do it right away or else you're done. And I'm thankful for playing in the time that I played and being done when I got done.
Oh yeah. One quick thing. You know, I coach high school football. Any word or words of advice you could give a young quarterback that's graduating and wanting to go? I mean, I got a kid that's D1, could go D1, but he's not really getting, you know, much looks. He's 6'2", about probably about 195. So he's your size. You were a little bit heavier than that, but he's got a great arm. He can run. He's smart. I mean, and he qualifies for D1 with his grades and everything, you know.
Okay.
But
yeah, man,
go ahead.
You know, that's a tough call. You know, if he's got aspirations to be a D1 quarterback, then I would say, you know, get out. Is he a senior? His senior year's coming up?
Oh, no, he's a senior this year, so he's graduating this year. Yeah.
He's a senior this year. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tough if he's not getting recruited. You know, there's so many ways now to recruit.
Well, he is
crazy.
He is by D2, which over here in Ohio we have one JUCO, and I like trying to talk because I went JUCO. I like trying to talk to the guys, you know, and tell them, hey, if you qualify for D1 and you go to JUCO, you can go 1 year or you can go 2 years and graduate and then try to walk on somewhere. You know, you don't have to. But if you go D2 or D3, you have to sit out a year. And nobody wants to do that, you know. So it's a hard decision, you know.
Yeah, getting playing reps is the key. You know, if he's not getting enough looks for D1 right now, then probably JUCO is the best thing to do. Get on film, get yourself out there, and let coaches see that you can play. and they're D1 is there for you. If you got the skill, someone will find you. Hopefully, hoping to film or get eyes on him and see him and be able to give him a shot somewhere.
Okay. All right. Well, Jake, this has been awesome, man. Enjoyed it. Have a safe trip. So you're flying out here shortly?
Yeah, I'm on my way just to the airport. I get in late to Orlando and get there and have a day to maybe chase down some people out there to get their eyes on our product, and then a couple of days of the convention and then back home. So
okay. Well, I mean,
thanks for having me. Thank you for having me on the podcast, Chris. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Some coaches. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually work for NFL pro camps, so I do a little bit of traveling, go and do youth camps for pro camps, and we do. They do Drew Brees, Fitzgerald. I mean, everybody all over the place. And so I'm always around coaches. So, I mean, I can spread the word to everybody, All right, Jake. Hey, have safe travels. Have fun when you get to Orlando. And you said you were going to check out the Pro Bowl?
I'm not going to stay for the whole thing. I'm going to be down there. I'll bop around and see some guys, but otherwise just going mainly to work. And I said, you mentioned Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald. There's a couple guys that might be around there, and those kind of guys, if they see this kind of a product, that you never know what they might think about it. So we'll see if I can get some eyes on it. And otherwise just going out to hit up the high schools out there, because Florida's a hotbed for the game of football.
Oh yeah. Well, Mobile's got the Senior Bowl this weekend, so hey,
I know.
That might be something to check out.
The Broncos are coaching out there. Yeah. Well, hey man, let me know how I can spread this. Once you get it done, I can retweet it on my Twitter account and whatnot. That's all I have is Twitter, and then we also have @ReadyList Pro is a Twitter account also for the Ready List. So if you tag that on there too, we can spread that out.
Oh yeah, no problem. Definitely. All right.
Alrighty.
Well, I appreciate it, and hopefully we'll talk soon. Have a good one.
All right, Chris. Hey, you too, man. Take care.
All right. Thanks. You too.
Bye-bye.
Well, that concludes our show for the night. Would like to thank Jake Plummer for stopping by and talking with us. Music provided by The Outsiders. Follow us on Twitter or Facebook at Blevins Nation, or stop by the site and check out more podcasts at www.blevinsnation.com. Don't forget to stop by ReadyListPro.com and check out all Jake has to offer, or follow him on Twitter at Snakes Takes. Also, make sure you're ready for next week's podcast. It's going to feature Kevin Martin of Candlebox. Y'all have a good one. Out.